So we are well into the swing of Warzone 2, and if you're anything like me, then Warzone 2 solos are going to feel scarier than opening a brown envelope with urgent on the front of it. But have no fear, because in today's video I want to give you a comprehensive guide on how to get super easy solo wins. These Warzone 2 tips and tricks are going to help you in your solo games to no end, and I promise you that by the end of the video you'll have a good understanding of how you can get in a position where you're going to be able to win a lot more games. Now before we get too far into the video, I do just want to remind you guys I'm currently engaged in a ridiculous slap bet whereby my brother-in-law is going to slap me in the face if I do not hit 50,000 subscribers by New Year's Day. I realise it's a tall ask, but if you could just take that extra half a second it takes to smash that subscribe button, me and my face will be eternally grateful, and in return I offer to bring you amazing Warzone 2 tips and tricks content as well as Modern Warfare 2 tips and tricks content, and I promise to upload the result of the slap bet on New Year's Day. But with that out of the way, let's get on with the rest of this video. Now for my strategy to be effective, you're going to want to find a drop zone that is on the edge of the circle and choose a safecracker. The safecracker will get you enough money, but the fact that it's on the edge of the circle means that you're eliminating a lot of RNG. Right here you can see that a couple of people are dropping with me. However, the key is to not pussy out of the contract. A lot of people will pussy out of the contract and they will find themselves in the middle of nowhere with no loot. If you die in the first 10 seconds, that's no great loss. What you need to make sure you do is pick up that contract so that you can ensure yourself a very successful beginning to the round. Now once you have completed the safecracker contracts with all of the loot that you have found, you should have a hefty amount of money. The reason that you need this money is because you want to set yourself up with a decent primary and a decent secondary. And once you have these things in place, the mid game starts, and this is where you're going to have to be careful, and this is where you're going to have to be intelligent. Like I said, if you want high kill wins, then this isn't going to be the video for you, because I am literally just showing you how to get these solo wins the easiest way possible. As you can see here, I am on the edge of the circle. I know that everything behind me is clear because that is the direction that I've come from, although I'm still going to be listening out for enemies. But I'm going to wait for that circle to close in on me so that I have the most amount of information possible. This is going to allow me to assess the situation and see what my next move is going to be. I am in a bit of a sticky situation because there is not a lot of cover between me and where the next circle is going to be. However, in the distance there to my right, I can see that there is an oil pipeline that I can use to my advantage. I can use this pipeline to get up to that next village and into the next circle, or at the very least, anyone who has that high ground is going to have their vision obscured, so they're not going to be able to take my plates and eventually kill me and send me to the Gulag early. This game is very, very punishing if you go to the Gulag, especially if you're solo, because it's very hard to reset and get enough cash to get all of your stuff back. Landing on a contract in the mid game in solos is really going to put you at a disadvantage because a lot of players will already be hunkered down and they'll know exactly where you are because they'll be able to hear you coming a mile away, and you're just going to get put back in the lobby quicker than you can say, fuck, I wish I hadn't run out in the open. Now as we approach this next circle, we have to be very vigilant of a couple of things. We are very, very exposed to our right at that high ground. In any battle royale, the high ground will always have the advantage. This means that we have to make sure that we get to this building quick. There are no windows smashed on this building and the door is closed, as well as the fact that we can hear the loot inside. This means that the chances are there is no one around for us to get killed by. So this seems like a good place for us to hunker down. Again, there is no shame in sitting still, using your ears and listening to get more information. Running around blindly, getting loads of kills looks cool and it's fun, yes, but if you want to get as many wins as possible, you're going to need to play these engagements smart. Right here, all I'm doing is just scanning the area behind me. The areas that I wasn't able to cover whilst I was running through that open area are going to be the unknown variables to me, but as soon as that zone pushes people in, that means that we know that we are clear from the back. Right there, a grenade goes off, so I know that there are only two ways up, on this roof here and coming up the stairs. So I decide to hunker down and throw my suppression mine on the side of the stairs. This means when the enemy comes, he will be suppressed and also distracted and probably try and run away. Now, we wait and we listen and we hear the footsteps. Right there. Right there was our signal that there is someone coming and someone is going to push us. We already know that we're covered by the suppression mine, and as the guy is inside, we know that the most likely point of access is going to be the stairs. Again, there is always going to be that element of RNG. You are working with real people here, they're not bots, so we cannot always say what's for certain. But with the information that we have given ourselves, we know that it is almost certain that this guy will be coming up the stairs, so we are able to prepare ourselves and wait for the engagement. Right there, we get the XP come up on the screen as well as the hit marker telling us that the suppression mine is hitting the guy. Our claymore didn't go off, so we obviously saw that and jumped over it, and he is preparing to push. However, the fact that he is being suppressed means he can no longer sprint, which means that pushing is no longer a good idea, so he'll be trying to run down the stairs. I see this, and although I know I'm going to get concussed, I decide I have to take this push so that I can eliminate this threat quickly. And there we have it, almost like shooting fish in a barrel. Now obviously this wasn't an accident. All of the things that happened in this scenario here are because I took my time and I played it smart. I understood what my dangers were and I understood where an enemy could come from. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is make sure that no one else is with him or no one else was following him. In solos, if you see someone running, chances are someone else sees them running. And that means that after even this little engagement, someone has probably heard me. So what I need to do is loot this guy and see if he has anything useful on him that I can use for the rest of the game. I check his backpack and right there, look, he's got 2 UAVs. These are going to be huge for the next part of the game because at this point in time, I know that there is definitely going to be other people around me because there is still 31 people left and the circle is relatively small. So I'm going to have to pop one of these UAVs to see what happens. So I head back upstairs and I pop my UAV whilst looking at the TAC map. This is a really good tip because it also gives you that field of view that you need that you don't get from the normal minimap. Luckily here, I popped it at just the right time because a guy was crossing the open and coming to kill me. If I didn't have that UAV there, I would have been in a very sticky situation where the circle was going to be moving and I would have had to deal with that guy whilst the circle was coming to get me. Right, so now there's 28 players left and the circle is getting rather small. I can see on my minimap that there is water ahead of me, so I'm going to have to make a decision in a minute as to where I cross. I know that I have an extra UAV in my bag and this is going to prove very, very useful to determine what is the safest path to cross. In Warzone 1, by this point in the game, most people would have ghosts, so a UAV would not be that useful. However, with the changes to loadouts, a lot of people are opting to buy their guns like I have. That means that not a lot of people are going to have ghosts at this point. So as I approach this door here, I'm aware that people on the other side in the buildings over the water have probably already set up in a position that they think they're going to be able to camp and hold until the next circle moves. This is quite a dodgy position to be in because I'm going to have to cross that water and get into a safe place. I pop the UAV and luckily it gives me enough information to determine that if I cross the river straight ahead of me here, I'm going to be in quite a safe position because a lot of the enemies are concentrated more on the east side of the map. Now if you look here, there seems to be an enemy who's camping the bridge. If I try and swim across here, most likely he's going to hear me and kill me and shoot me whilst I'm in the water. So I have to decide where I want to cross. I need to get far enough away from the bridge camper, but also I don't want to cross too far into the built up area where I can already see that a lot of enemies are. So I decide to play the gas and just follow the gas in the water and take my time and move slowly and cautiously through the map. I know that all of those red dots that I just saw on the UAV are also going to be traveling in the same trajectory as me. This means that I have to be very careful not to get shot from the left as I cross through these buildings. The point of popping UAVs really isn't always going to be to know where people are in that moment. The main point of popping a UAV in a solos map is to give you that valuable information and know where the enemies are. If I hadn't popped that UAV, I would have had no idea that that guy was there. Now obviously another guy was following that guy and I was able to use my self-revive in this instance to be able to get myself up because he was probably scared to push, knowing the same thing as me, that there are a lot of enemies around. The thing is, when you're in a solo and you need to self-revive, you're going to need to make your decisions quickly. That guy is probably going to come and push you because he needs to get you out of the picture so that he has a higher chance of winning. This means that you're going to need to make sure that you absolutely book it as soon as you have got yourself up. Right now, all I'm doing is chucking drill mines because I'm sure that this guy is going to be pushing me from behind. Obviously he didn't hear, and I hear him coming through the next building. Luckily I get the drop on him here because he's running ahead of me and he's fairly easy to take out. However, again, we still know that there was a large concentration of enemies on this side of the map, so we're going to have to be very, very careful to our left and to our right as well now because that bridge camper was there earlier. This is why I'm hugging this low ground and making sure I follow the circle in. The more space that there is between you and the circle is more space that enemies can potentially flank you and get behind you. So by following the circle in like this, yes, it does mean that you're pushed for time, but it also means that you're the safest you can be from the back. I need to get more information because the final circle here seems to be very, very open, and as a result, there's not going to be a lot of cover, so nowhere for me to hide if I make a wrong move. This was a bit of a dodgy play by me, as going to the roof makes you a very easy target for anyone who is sniping on any of that high ground. However, if you move quickly and you move unpredictably, you should be fine and you won't get one-shot headshotted like you would have done in Warzone 1. I hear something over to my left, so I go to investigate. I think that there is a player probably on that rock or down below. Luckily for me, I see a guy down below, and then at the corner of my eye, I see a guy on the high ground at top. I focus my energy on the guy on the high ground because he is going to be the biggest threat. I don't know what's happened to the lower guy, so I pop my precision airstrike to hopefully take them both out. As you can see, I killed the ghost that was on top, and I guess that the other guy was already dead because I see his body float off in the distance. This means that this north to northeast sector of the map is going to be essentially clear to me because I've killed everyone or have seen people die that could be there. The house and the rock to my rear are both clear because they are in the gas. Now I know that there are 2 more people left other than myself, and the only place they can be is behind this little shack that I am held up in. Now, if I go round to the right, that means I'm going to be putting myself at great risk because there is a lot of angles that I'm going to be able to get shot from. A lot of people are worried about going in the gas because they think that they're going to die in like a second. However, you actually have quite a long time in the gas, and especially if you have a durable gas mask like I do here, it does mean that you have that option. I would always suggest that after you get your guns, a durable gas mask as well as a self-revive are going to be the most important things that you can have for a solo game to give you that biggest chance of survival. Now obviously here the circle has moved and I have lucked out. There is always going to be an element of RNG to a solo game. The circle moving over there means that I'm going to have to push these guys, and the fact is they're going to have the high ground and they're going to have the advantage over me. There's not a lot I could have done differently here because at the end of the day I couldn't have passed this open area any earlier because the same thing would have happened and this guy would have killed me. So I decide that my best option is to go round the back here and try and play the gas. I know that that guy is there to my left and he won't be able to see me this far into the gas. And now I can hear them shooting each other. I see the third guy in front of me there and I managed to get the down on him. Now I'm running through the gas and my durable gas mask has run out. This was the mistake I made. I shouldn't have killed that guy straight away. I should have made sure that I was close enough to the gas. Now I'm trying to kill this guy at range, but again, he has the high ground advantage on me. He takes me out and I come second. Look, obviously there's a lot of things I could have done differently there, but at the end of the day, the main point of this video is to make sure that you get these final circle situations, because obviously if you get to the final circle, the chances of you being able to win these games are going to increase exponentially. Most of the hard work is done, and unfortunately in solos at least, when it comes down to this final circle, you always are going to have to rely on a bit of luck. There are so many variables that you're not going to be able to determine and you're not going to be able to control. However, if you follow these steps that I've given you and you take it slow and you make sure that you gather that information, I promise you your solo wins are going to come thick and fast. But anyway, that's it for this little guide today. I really hope that some of you found some value in this content. For those of you who have watched my videos for a while, you'll know that I love to see who sticks around until the end. So if you're still here, I'd like you to let me know by answering this question down in the comments. How many wins do you have in Warzone? Anyway, that's it from me today. I'm Average Joel. Peace.